Hello, hello. Welcome to Live Talking Blues. It's Wednesday night. We've got a guest tonight from all the way across the pond who is a very, very beautiful guitarist, beautiful singer, and an amazing, amazing, amazing songwriter as well. Would you please welcome from Los Angeles, out of the green room, let's get in here, Debbie Davies. Hey, girlfriend, what's up?
Hey, Kat. Thanks for having me.
Thank you for joining us. What time is it there?
Oh, it's just 10 after noon.
Noontime, lunchtime. We're running late here. It's about 8 o'clock at night, and it's almost tea time. Another time for a cup of tea later.
A cuppa.
Yeah, cup of. You've been here before, I take it, huh?
Yeah, I have.
How did you find it?
England? Oh, well, it's my roots, man. I
Yeah.
totally dig it. And when I was over with Albert, and we were just in London each time because we would play at the Town and
Yeah.
Country. But I got to come over and do a festival with Otis Grand because we'd recorded a record together, and then with Nick Moss and Todd Sharpfield, we actually did a little tour, and that way I got to see more of the countryside. And oh my, the little towns, it's just so gorgeous. We drove from London up to Edinburgh, or Edinburgh, however you say it.
Edinburgh, yeah, that's right, in Scotland, yes.
Yeah, for a festival, and the drive was just unbelievable. So,
It's so green here, isn't it?
yeah, and
Because it rains all the time, Debbie.
that part's probably not my favorite.
I know you're from Los Angeles. You grew up there, did you?
I did, yeah, and then I actually spent 10 years in the Bay Area, San Francisco. Was back here, and then 23 years on the East Coast above New York.
Did you? Oh my God! Talking about cold, man.
Yeah. It was hard to get used to, but it was an adventure, and I was touring Europe so much that it was really hard to constantly make that flight from the West Coast. So.
Yeah. Of course. Yeah. Because it's what is it? What, 4 hours or something like that? Is it?
Well, it's a 5-hour flight to London, but we would often begin a tour, in Scandinavia or France, or
Exactly. Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah, like a 9-hour flight, 8 or 9.
Exactly. Yeah. Scandinavia, Sweden, all those places. Norway. There's a lot of great blues in Norway. Would you know it? And a few American cars there as well in Oslo. That's what amazed me when I first come over to Europe. We were in Oslo, and they had some big thing with all these American cars. I'm thinking, what are these Buicks doing in Norway? Crazy.
Well, they probably have enough room for them.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, they do, because not that many people. Boy, I tell you, but it's a gorgeous, gorgeous town. So tell me, what got you into playing guitar? At what age were you?
Well, I grew up in a musical family. Both my parents were musicians. So, I'd started on piano lessons, but I didn't really take to the piano because both my parents, that was their thing. Mm-hmm. And I'm just the typical baby boomer, man. I saw the Beatles on Ed Sullivan. And I was off and running. It was like, I've got to have a guitar. And, I was majorly into the Beatles. And then, I couldn't get an electric guitar because that wasn't what they did for girls back then.
No, that was the boys' toys. I was going to say that, right? Yeah.
Boys' toys. So,
yeah.
I had the acoustic and did as much as I could. But I got really into John Mayall and the Blues Breakers. And
that's it, yeah.
I used to listen to Eric Clapton's solos and sing them because I couldn't figure out how to play them. And of course I couldn't really bend strings, or I didn't know what I was doing. So, and I had a little snare drum, and I would learn all of, the drum parts. And so I was just a nut, but it kind of got to the point where after I got out of high school, I was just really didn't know what was going on. I was doing this and doing that. And finally, in my early 20s, I decided that, damn, I still want to play electric blues guitar. So I bought myself my first electric guitar and just started going for it.
Did you play up in San Francisco then? When you're up there, did you move your guitar up there and do that?
Yeah, that's where I got started. And there was plenty of blues going on up there, and eventually, played with different bands and kept working on it. And then I got to the point where I wanted to see if I could move back to LA and maybe jump in a bigger pond. And because blues was drying up a bit up there, a lot of the clubs, I'd been doing my thing. We're turning to top 40 clubs. And at the time, LA had like a real sort of trad blues thing going on.
What does that mean, trad blues? I didn't quite get
like that. More traditional Chicago blues, like James Harmon.
Oh, trad, traditional, yeah, okay.
Yeah, and William Clark and the Mighty Flyers, and that was they were all really big down here. Plus, artists like Bonnie Raitt and Albert Collins and John Mayall.
Oh, yes. So you recruited in 1988 by John Mayall? Was it?
No, it was 85.
85.
I joined Maggie Mayall and the Cadillacs, and we were the opening band for John on tours. And, we wrote a lot of tunes and everything. And it was an all-girl band, which was super big back then in the 80s. Once the Go-Go's made it, it's like every girl that played an instrument was like, got to have an all-girl band.
Yeah. Exactly. I mean, my dream is to have an all-girl blues band and do a few tours or some, absolutely. I mean, I have a great band, but there seems something special. I don't see that many all-girl blues bands, these days. And I think it would be absolutely amazing just for the, I don't know, the camaraderie, the novelty. I mean, I put as many girls in the band or on tour as I can. I got a couple of good girl drummers and bass player and guitar as well. So we kind of switch them up, but that would be absolutely amazing. So what was that like back then? Was it quite a novelty, or was it,
well, I mean, there were some other all-girl bands going on down here in LA.
Yeah.
Because, this is where bands get signed. So, everybody was trying to do that. But, really, there wasn't enough interest in girls playing, especially not playing blues. We never got a record deal, which we were trying to do. And
not many blues people will get record deals still, even, you know what I mean? I mean, there's probably more record labels now, are there, blues record labels nowadays, I think. Don't you?
Well, the indie label thing was just kind of starting then. I mean, we had Alligator was established, but at the time they were like never sign any white people and never sign any women. So that was totally out. But after when I was out with Albert, I started getting some notice. Obviously, the female white chick in the band. Yeah,
so that was what Albert Collins and the Icebreakers. He asked you to join, did he?
Well, yeah, I mean, I kind of was going to these jams in LA. Yeah. I called them celebrity jams because that's where all the players that toured with John Mayall and Albert Collins and all these bands, their players would go to this particular jam to work out in between tours, to keep their chops up. And, that's where I met Coco Montoya, who was John Mayall's guitar player. And he had been Albert's drummer in the 70s. So we actually were doing little bar gigs, Coco and I. And then I was touring. He got me the audition with Maggie Mayall. And then Albert came and saw me and Coco playing in a little bar in LA.
Really? Wow.
And he sat in with us, which blew everybody's mind. Albert Collins. Yeah. And then he liked my playing. And it just turned out that he was going through some personnel changes in his band, and so he invited me to sit in with him at the San Francisco Blues Festival, and he was also having Robert Cray sit in, so that was kind of heavy.
And that's when you step through the real blues door, you say, isn't it?
yeah. So
oh man, definitely.
I guess I passed the test because a couple of months later I got a call from his manager and, wanted to know if I wanted to join the band. And I was like, yes. And then he said, and we're leaving tomorrow.
Did that work out okay for you? Obviously, because you have to tell the tale. Definitely it worked out, didn't it? You've made it work.
Oh yeah. Yeah. It was, that's the highlight of my career, obviously, besides, doing my own thing and stuff. But touring with Albert and having that experience, was just tremendous. So I'll never not be eternally grateful for that. And I, just loved Albert so much, and great bunch of guys. Yeah.
Tell me about the, was it Fingers Taylor and the Lady Finger Review? Was
Well,
was that
yeah,
after you finished with Albert Collins, or
it
during?
was.
Yeah,
I left Albert. I was ready to try and embark on my own thing, and
sure. Yeah.
he was super encouraging me to do
Yeah, you
that.
supported. That's so good.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah, I love that.
But when I got off the road, I realized, okay, the one thing I don't have is money. Because, blues tours aren't, I was
Yeah,
able to pay my rent and do all that, but I wasn't able to save. So
sure. Yeah.
it's kind of like, well, how do I get my thing going on here? And then I got
Yeah.
approached in a club one night by this guy, Fingers Taylor.
Uh-huh.
And he told me that he was going around the country searching for, the best female blues players he could find because he was putting together a band to be the opening band on
Yeah.
tour with
Uh-huh.
Jimmy Buffett. So,
Okay.
I was like, Jimmy Buffett, that's not my wheelhouse, man. I'm blues and I'm,
Yeah.
traditional Albert Collins kind of blues. So I didn't want to do it, but he, we continued to talk on the phone and
Mm-hmm.
he told me some of the other gals that were going to do it. And
Mm-hmm.
I certainly knew a couple of them and respected their playing. And then I was able to get him a singer, which was Janova Magnus. I got her the gig.
Geneva, yeah. I saw her here in London. Yeah. Absolutely great.
So, when he actually, I'll be honest, when he told me what the money was, I
Yeah.
decided I can do this and then I'll be able to. And what I did, we toured for 3 months and I just saved every penny, I never,
Exactly.
and
Well
then I was
done.
able to buy my van when I got back so that I could start booking my own tours and stuff.
That's the thing, isn't it? I mean, you do have to have. We're talking about having a business head these days with playing music, but you do have to keep your wits about you and plan ahead and be a business person. Even back then, you know what I mean? Because it is a business, and we forget because we're so passionate. I forget we're so passionate about just playing, but you have to be able to do all of it, isn't it? Really,
Well,
you
I'll be honest with
set
you.
yourself up.
I was a horrible business person at first. I knew
Yeah.
nothing, but I luckily I got, interest early from being with Albert. I had kind of attracted interest from a guy that wanted to manage me. And then he was able to get me a record deal because I had already like gone into the studio myself over the last few years and recorded my own tunes. So with
Yeah.
that, we got label interest, and then I selected of the interest that came to my way, Blind Pig Records. So
That's it.
I just kind of went out and started doing it. It was all
Mhm.
about music to me and keeping the tours together. So, I mean, you have to organize your tour, keep your band together, your van, and all that. But I just really didn't know about the business or contracts or anything. And,
Sure. Yeah.
gradually I just had to learn all of that. And I
Exactly.
gradually did. But now, because the generation I'm from,
Yes.
even in school and everything, business was not the focus. It was all the social
Home
science.
economics.
Yeah, no,
Home economics. Yeah.
yeah, that and like the social things, sciences called psychology, sociology. That's what people
Okay.
were into when I was young, not business
Okay.
at all.
Yeah.
But now the young people and all the younger artists, they're like totally hip to the whole business and
I'm telling you, isn't it? I mean, they've got a whole empire. I mean, they're making like millions. There's some of them even billions, I'm told,
yeah, yeah.
Absolutely.
So
I'm hmm
it's just
I'm just
kidding.
wondering. I'm just wondering. I'm gonna cut here and I'm gonna go ahead and run a video and then we'll edit back in. So let's run that video. How long is that video, Patsy? We'll cut this bit out. I see. Okay. Well, we'll have to make sure we fade that. We'll get a segue into that. Interesting. Thank you, Patsy. That was great. We'll edit those in. We'll get a segue into that, definitely. Listen, so could you tell us a little bit about the video we just saw then?
Yeah. When I was with Maggie Mail and the Cadillacs, that was us making a video at the Palomino Club in
I remember that place.
Yeah, in the Valley.
Yeah.
That was a real favorite club of mine. But yeah, it was an interesting thing because the people who did the video wanted to do it on 8mm film, so that it would look real grainy. So it was just a particular artistic kind of choice. And you know, they had the people like doing our hair, trying to make us have big hair because, you know, it was the 80s.
Yeah, you know, it reminds me of the Manhattan Transfer. Remember them?
Yeah, sure.
Absolutely. So Manhattan Transfer. It sounded great sound as well.
Yeah, we had a lot of fun, and like I say, we opened a lot for John Mayall on his West Coast runs, and John was very supportive also of my playing. You know how he's kind of nurtured a lot of guitar players throughout his career, and he used to bring me up on stage every night to sit in on his finale, which was Room to Move. So that was pretty cool.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, I was just thinking here. I was thinking since 1993, you've produced was it 13 solo recordings, and a couple CDs. Tell me what you got going out now at the moment.
Oh, now is pretty dormant of a time.
Yes,
yeah. Yeah. So
COVID is, I mean, everyone's doing things from home and in the sitting rooms and things like that. So it's how's that feel for you?
Well, you know, I don't really have those kind of skills to have a recording thing going on from home or I haven't done any of those kind of things. You know, I've just kind of been, I was actually kind of off the road already. I was caring for my mom, and then she passed, and then I was just kind of,
I'm sorry.
Oh, thank you. I was just kind of getting going again right before COVID. I had quite a few bookings on the calendar, but then they were all pulled. And so I'm, you know, trying to figure out how to get it all together again, you know?
Definitely. It's one of those kind of things, isn't it? Where you just kind of, because we were so dormant, and I kind of feel myself to be in the same position, but I think you just have to take it one day at a time and not really be too hard on yourself about it as well. Also, you got to kind of see who's actually open and still, and what venues are still going, and if there's anyone to do it for you, are they still doing it? So a lot of the landscape has changed a lot, you know. So it's kind of feeling your way back into it. I wouldn't really try to rush so much, except for just to I don't know. I'm just, because it was so daunting. You have to kind of be kind to yourself about it. I keep saying to myself. Do you know what I mean?
I think you're exactly right, Kat. You know, I think a lot of us have gone through this thing where our own attitudes have changed. You know, I'm more of like definitely more into the go with the flow mode right now, because there's just so many things you realize, well, I don't have control over that, you know. There are a few venues around here still that I don't even want to go in because they're so, you know, clustered, you know, they're so tight with people that I'm not really comfortable being that, you know. There's then the other venues that are more, there's a little more space to be had, you know. I'm more comfortable with that right now. So
yeah, I think we're going different levels of comfortability as well, because I mean, like here in London, who was here? The Ginelli brothers were here. Mud Morganfield was here not long ago, and the place was packed, and no one seemed to really mind. But then you go over to Spain, and it's like people still won't walk down the pavement without a mask. Here they're kind of getting on with it, you know. But I think the numbers are dropping, but I think we're just. I don't know, whatever you're comfortable with. I still wear my mask on the bus or in the supermarket or something like that. But I still like going. I was at the Super Bowl, you know, like I said, on Sunday night, you know, in the packed pub, going, whoa, go you Rams, go you Rams.
Yeah. Well, I know. I mean, I'm kind of halfway between like that. So was bad here. It was really bad.
I know, I know,
In
I
this
know.
particular area, you know, and now it's just starting to get a little better again. I mean, it
Yeah,
was
sure.
so and I think they're lifting the mask mandates, or they just did. So
Yeah, I think they just did here as well, lift it. So we'll get there. So I mean, when you do get there, you get back out there with your band, or would you go solo? What you think you?
well, I don't do the hard ground tours anymore.
Yeah.
I mean, it's I
What
was
do you
out.
mean by hard ground?
I mean, in a van,
Okay.
traveling constantly, and which is what is done here in the States.
But you're 20 when you do that. You're 12, when you do that sort of thing. You know what I mean? You've
well,
paid your dues.
I did that for 30 years, So
Exactly.
now it's like happy to do local shows and then,
Mm-hmm.
pick and choose
Mm-hmm.
festivals or the blues cruise, things like
Exactly.
that, where you
Yeah.
fly and do your work. And then, so yeah, this is a huge country. So to hit all the places,
I'm telling you, it's so big.
yeah, that's why we were on the ground touring, one nighters. And sometimes we'd be out for 5, 6 weeks, traveling
Well,
every day, loading the gear, checking into place.
yeah,
And
yeah, I know.
it's exciting
Just
when you're
yeah,
young.
for the love of your art as well, because you love it so much. There's nothing like that buzz, isn't it? Once you're on stage and you're doing your thing, and when you get off, it's like there's no other high like it, is it? you
I
know?
know. Yeah, yeah.
Absolutely. So let's see. So Alligator Records, you featured on one of their with Joe Louis Walker,
Yeah, well,
JLW. He's
right.
lovely, isn't he?
Oh, he's my brother.
Oh
Um,
wow, yeah, yeah,
Yeah, well, we through the affiliation, we've known each other for a long time, and then
yeah.
the artist Tommy Castro, who's out here on the West Coast, did he's big on the blues cruises, so he decided to do at one point a land cruise, and he would drive in his bus. They'd do the tour bus across the country, and then they would have special artists. So Joe and I were the special artists on one of
Mm.
the tours. So we would toured and did big shows every night. It was great. And then on the blues cruise, we would do stuff too together. And I guess one of the nights, I think it was on the land cruise, maybe they recorded a few of the shows and then picked and choose. And one of my tunes ended up on one of those albums, which was
Yeah.
an honor.
Yes, definitely. We supported Joe Louis Walker here in London for a bit, and it was such a pleasure. Absolutely, such a pleasure. What a legend. So the songs you've written, do you put all your original stuff on your albums, or you do a few covers, or?
Well, a couple of my albums are pretty much all original.
Yeah.
My drummer also was a songwriter, and so we would maybe do tunes like maybe I wrote one, he wrote one, but oftentimes we collaborated. So sometimes it would be an all original album. The other times there would be a like peppering of originals, and
Mm-hmm.
I would select, blues or R&B chestnuts that I really wanted to record, yeah. Yeah. So it was, most of the time it was a combination of both.
Yes, exactly. I think that's important as well, because some people want to hear their original stuff where they can relate to, and then they also want to see how the artist kind of covers it. I guess it kind of gives them that kind of like, oh, okay, yeah, I like her because she did that song pretty good. You know what I mean? At least I kind of do that. Hey,
Yeah.
Patsy, have we got another video to watch, darling?
Pardon?
I was just asking Patsy if we had another video to watch there. So I'm just trying to figure out if I'm going to edit them in. It's nice to put them in. Well, go ahead and let's queue up another one there and see which one. I didn't ask Patsy what order to put them in. I normally do, but I just wanted to let her pick and choose. So we had quite a few on there. So. Girl, you can play. Look at that. You go now. No wonder they wanted you on stage. Girl, that's brilliant.
Oh, thank you, Kat. It's funny to me because, I'm looking at myself so much younger, and I don't know, there's just things I do a little differently now. And so I'm like, oh, whoa, I did that. I like that. No, I don't like that.
Well, we do things differently as we get older, isn't it? You know what I mean? Even getting out of bed is different now,
Yeah. Well, I know. I can see I had a lot of hair back then. That's for sure.
Yeah, gorgeous. And that's MI Institute. Was it MI?
Yeah, that's a Musicians Institute. It's in Los Angeles. It's been there for a long time. And
I think my guitarist went there. He's from Italy. But I think that's where he went as well, actually. He traveled from Italy and went over there.
They refer to it as GIT, the guitar.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So I did a few, I did a few like little workshops there, like teaching some of the kids, and then did this performance with my band. But I look like a kid here too. So
yeah. Do you ever teach there again? Or do you ever teach her now? Not again.
No, because this was like before. This is like before I was heavily on the road.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. Of course. Yeah.
And then I relocated to the East Coast for the bulk
after that.
Yeah.
Man. That looks like great times. It looks like quite a big audience as well there.
Yeah, and I this was such a good band. I mean, I'll just Joe Uwaley, the drummer, was a longtime drummer for John Mayall, and Alan Hirano on bass, and Dave Melton on guitar, and he's still a pretty well-known, respected guitar player here in LA.
I see. I like that bass line, which is one of my favorite. It's just I can't get one of my favorite. It just makes you want to get up and just go like that. That's something about the blues, isn't it? You just can't sit down on it. I tell you. You really can't sit down on that one.
Yeah, well, we played a lot of swing dance parties too, back in the day, because the blues is great for all of that kind of dancing.
Mm. So, what about this club in Santa Monica? People, I think you were acquaintance or friends with Southside Slim, Henry Southside Slim. Do you know him from LA?
Not really.
Okay, I don't know where I got that from then. But he was telling me that he was going to be playing at Harvell's in Santa Monica, which wasn't there, obviously, when I was there back then. You know this venue?
Sure. I mean, before I moved, I played at Harvell's. I mean, before I moved back east, it was one of the blues clubs, and I'm not sure it's in the exact same place right now, but it was always in Santa Monica, and it's still going, which is pretty awesome because not too many of the clubs are,
Yeah, exactly. I mean, you still got your Whiskey a Go-Go's and things like that, or the Rainbow, or I can't remember anymore all those places.
Yeah, I'm not so sure. I really haven't done the Sunset Strip in a while.
Yeah, exactly. I know. Well, here's Central London. We've got a few places that are people. You ever get back over here? You got the Blues Kitchen,
Okay.
Under the Bridge. Obviously, the 100 Club. They do it Tuesday night there at the 100 Club and stuff. So hopefully, we get to see you back over here one of these days.
That would be
Because
great.
oh my gosh, I mean, I think when people start I mean, we're having a bit of a problem because we're trying to go through Europe because of Brexit.
Yes.
It's really made our livelihoods a bit weird, because we used to pack up. I mean, we'd buy a seat for our guitar on EasyJet and off we go and play some gigs. But it's not that simple anymore.
Yeah. Yeah.
It really isn't that simple anymore. But we do the best we can with what we have,
Sure.
So any blues cruises coming up at all? Because
well, there's Blues Cruises. They just started up again.
they just started up. Yeah, I think Mug was on one of those a couple weeks ago. Yeah.
So hopefully I'll be doing one in the near future. So.
Yeah, I'll have to keep an eye on that because I'd love to come and see one of the blues cruises and just experience it. I can't imagine a whole cruise full of blues. You know what I mean? I think we've got one here in that does Norway or something like that. European blues cruise as well. So.
Yeah, I've done those too.
Mm-hmm.
This one is pretty special. I mean, the cat that puts it on, Roger Neighbor, he had one of the major clubs in Kansas City for years. That
oh really?
When I toured with Albert, we would play there. So he's been in the business of the blues for, I don't know, 40 years, 50 years. But so he really knows what he's doing, and he really knows how to run a great cruise. And for the musicians, it's our opportunity to all, see each other and hang with each other and sit in with each other. So it's just a beautiful thing.
That sounds like a special, special day. Well, I've got some more videos, but what I'll do is I'll just edit them in. I was going to do like a little bit of a section, say, let's see this video, and I'll edit them in because it'll just be easier that way. So if I find a little pause section here, like let's watch this video.
Okay, sure, yeah.
And then we'll edit another one. Well,
all right, Detroit.
Everybody be here again? Partner. We're gonna rock and roll for you right now. Another school day, man, I can't take no more. I hate the sound of chalk scraping on the blackboard. Feel like a convict chained on my desk. Can't take no more. I'm gonna take a risk. I'm going over the fence. Yeah, I'm going over the fence. Must be a world out there. I can't stand the suspense. I'm going over the fence. Another work day, man. I'm tired of pushing broom. Yeah, from suffocation, baby. I'm ticking just like a tune. My payday comes and my check is so small. I gotta wonder why I even work it on. I'm going over the fence. I'm going over the fence. Must be a world out there. I can't stand the suspense. I'm going over the fence. Baby, I got it. Baby, sit here till my baby comes home. Pass me on the head and tosses me a bone. I'm going over the fence. Yeah, I'm going over the fence. Must be a well out.
Absolutely. Listen that. Where was this, Debbie?
Well, this was on tour opening for Jimmy Buffett.
Okay.
And we were playing, it was a shed tour. So every venue was pretty much identical if you're familiar with the sheds all across the country.
I don't understand what that is.
Well, have you been to the Hollywood Bowl?
Yes.
That's a
Yes,
shed.
yeah.
It's like the outdoor, you know, it's got a big shell that the band plays in. And then everything else, is all the seating is outdoors. A lot
Okay.
of them have, you know, a little different because the Hollywood Bowl's kind of in the hills. A lot of them are on flatter,
right.
so that there's maybe all these chairs and then there's, you know, grass out there. But they average about 22,000 seats.
Yeah.
And they're all the same pretty much as far as the backstages and, you know,
Yes.
that's the kind of tour we did. So I don't know which city this video is from. I really don't.
Mm.
But that's Fingers Taylor there, and of course Janova Magnus on vocals,
That's right. Yeah.
and Nancy Wright on sax, who's a great blues player also, and you know.
And
So-
who is it on drums? It's quite a female band, isn't it?
Yeah, Linda.
Yeah.
Linda, gosh, is it Taylor?
Okay. Does it?
And
Yeah.
Beth McKee is on bass, and she has her own career and band right now, going out of Florida, I believe. So.
All right. Absolutely. I've never heard that term shed tour. I think I saw Joan Armour Trading, I think, back in the day at the Hollywood Bowl. I believe very famous place there. Before I let you go, I wanted to talk to you quickly about the CD Holding Court.
Sure.
On Vistone Records, isn't it? You teamed up with some kind of who's of the industry on
the record. Yeah, most of my records I've had a lot of guests on, you know.
Yes.
When possible, and I've guested on a lot of other cats records too. It's kind of what we love to do.
Exactly.
We're an incestuous group, us blues folk.
Well, it's good to collaborate, isn't it? You know, it's good to enjoy ourselves. I mean, I think that's kind of like when they do those jam sessions and things like that. Sometimes the musicians, if they're on tour, they'll get up and do a little bit of a jam just to kind of jump in there and stuff. It's always nice to collaborate, you know.
Oh yeah, it's one of our thrills as musicians, you know. And
yeah.
So let's see. I had Dana Robbins play some sax on Holden Court. Did I? Was that? No, that's another record. Whatever. I don't know. I'm trying to think. Holden Court is an all instrumental.
Yes.
That I did. So I don't particularly have any special guests on that one, I don't think.
I'm still in Vistone. I know what is it like to play just an instrumental album? I mean, well, you know, because you're a singer as well. So did you feel we were missing something?
No, I thought it was one aspect of what I do. Like one thing, I've always loved to play instrumentals as a guitar player. So I thought, well, I don't know any other women who are doing this, you know, on all instrumental albums. So I'm going to do it. And I just played a number of them. I have written my instrumentals, and a number are like, you know, favorites from other blues people and stuff. So like Otis Rush, you know, so it was really fun to do.
Now, if anyone wants to find out where you're going to be in the future, Debbie, where can they find you? On
my website, which is just, you know, debbiedavies.com, and try and keep it updated with everything that's going on. And of course, Facebook. I have a Facebook page, and I'd put things on there, you know, that were going on. So,
well, we hope to see some more of your stuff coming up in the near future. You know, once we get back in the studio. Have you got a favorite studio in LA that you like to record at?
It's kind of changed a little, so I've got a new one I'm going to try out that's up in Santa Barbara. So
okay,
yeah,
you've been writing any new stuff?
Not as much as I used to. You know, I'm at that place like a lot of the older blues guys where you'd like to play. You have kind of a repertoire of stuff you like to play, and that's
exactly.
because I'm not like a pop artist. I mean, I love the blues, and a lot of the artists today, especially the gals, are not really doing the blues in the way that I'm old, so that's how I do it, and that's what I still like to do for
I know
people.
what you're saying. I
Yeah,
know some of it's gone kind of rocky and kind of poppy at the same
absolutely.
time, isn't it? Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I completely understand that. And you got the blues. You don't really have to write it because you live in it, really. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I have a pretty big repertoire at this point in time, so I can like switch it up.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
But
So,
you don't need a set list then, do you?
well, I do like to write set lists because
Yeah.
I like to sit around and think of like, okay, what haven't I done? What do I want to, because a lot of
Uh,
times in the moment, my brain, on stage and the adrenaline's going, my brain is just kind of like, huh?
yeah. No, I completely get that. I always think set, but it quite amazes me when people get up there and they don't really need a set list. They just go ahead and just. And I'm just thinking, did they just play that over and over, or is it just they got a whole repertoire? But yeah, when you're kind of in the moment, you can't think of the next song. It's easier just to kind of look down and say, okay, give me that one, or pick it up off the list, isn't it?
Yeah, it is for me. And sometimes, depending on the audience, you might realize, oh, I need to change it up right now.
Yeah, well, that's it. Yeah, because you can tell, you can feel it, can't you?
Yeah.
Definitely. So, what's up for the rest of the day for you in Los Angeles?
Oh, well, what's up for I'm
It's a
working on
Tuesday.
I'm going to grab my guitar and work on a few
Sure.
things,
Oh, lovely, lovely. Well, you
maybe get
must
on my bike.
now. Is that a bicycle or a motorbike?
Oh, bicycle.
Oh, okay.
No, I'm scared of those other things.
Oh man, I was thinking. I was saying to myself yesterday, should I get me a Suzuki? I'm thinking I should get it. It's called a Suzuki Van, and it has
Okay.
these big fat tires on it. So, and I keep thinking I should get that for the springtime. I don't know, but as you get older, you should know better not to do that. But I can't help myself. I've been writing since I was 5 years old, and I love it.
Well, then you're somebody who can do it. You should do
I
it.
can do it, but it's still not the safest thing to do when you're in the middle of a big city.
I know.
Because
Yeah.
people are just, in London, they're just like, no one wants to wait for anything. It's a bit like New York, you know what I mean, at times.
Yeah, I know. Well, it would be neat if you could go on some country roads, and just go.
Yeah, that would be great. Like we used to do back in LA, we used to go out to like Ensenada and places in Mexico and stuff and ride. Absolutely.
Yeah.
But we're gonna let you go, let you get on with your day. Miss Debbie Davis, everyone, please let's say goodbye to Patsy in the green room before we say goodbye to Debbie. Where are we? I need to get that out of there. Hello, Patsy. Thank you so much, Patsy.
Hi, Patsy. Thank you. Thank you.
And we look forward to we'll put some more music inside this and edit this little puppy up, Debbie.
Cool.
And we really thank you for taking the time to come on Live Talking Blues. And everybody, don't forget to subscribe or to go ahead and follow us on Facebook, because we're here to support the blues and we keep it going, we keep it live, and just keeping the community in touch with each other, basically.
Thank you so much for that, Kat. We really appreciate what you're doing.
Yeah. Well, it's good fun for us as well. We're having a good time with it, And you're our artist number 44. So we're still babies at this, but we have a lot of plans, lots of plans. So we'll hope to have you back on the show another time and get you on there live with a few other people as well.
Okay. And how can I, share this?
It'll be up. I'm gonna put this up on the 23rd. I believe I'll put this up on the 23rd. Tomorrow I will put up someone else, a guy named Kevin Brown. And then the 23rd is, I'll send you some links and everything. It'll come up on Facebook and on YouTube, and we can share it from there. Give us a second to edit it up a little bit as well.
Oh, of course. I just want to put it on my Facebook page.
Oh, for sure. Yeah. And it'll always be on YouTube and on Facebook. So if you go to our YouTube page after it's up, it doesn't come back down. You can always download it and keep it.
Okay. Great.
Okay.
Oh, thank you.
Thank you. That's fantastic. Well, Debbie Davies, everybody, welcome. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. All right, then take us home, Patsy.